Help Action Needed, a D&D podcast. Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Help Action Needed, a D&D podcast. My name is Sean Hardy, and I will be our GM today, as I am every day, but I'm going to let the cast introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Kate Pazarchik-Johnson, and I play Nori.
I'm Dan Johnson, and I play Cass.
I'm Julie Perez, and I play Frog.
Last time, our little adventuring trio were going about their way in the Temple of the Twilight Domain Clerics, where Nori is trying to prove herself, mostly to her, that she actually knows what she's doing despite having no understanding of anything at all. Is giving a lovely fake guided tour to everyone around her, which would be her two traveling companions, as well as their friends, brothers Seph and Alto. However, the only people that believe anything Nori is saying are the brothers, because they think they're getting a nice history tour. Nori's friends are clearly able to see through her lies. With that, they explored around a bit, found out that this place is kind of weird. Nori also found out that there's a guardian watching them at all times, as long as they're watching them physically on the main plane. Not quite sure about the others so far, but has been warned not to mess up. And that's everything, as we finish a long rest that started at 6 p.m., so the Lee Moon's tiny hunt will fade away at 4 a.m. As Nori, you wake up at 4 a.m.
I will make a little fire for us, very, very, very tiny and very controlled, but I'll make a little fire for us and make a lovely pot of coffee for everyone as an apology for making everyone go to bed so early. And see if I can maybe commune with Titania again to see if there's anything else I can glean from her. If you think it would be worth it, or I won't.
Well, you kind of know that in game yesterday, you got the feeling you're supposed to be doing this by yourself. So,
okay.
You're not sure if communing would be within the bounds of the test set forth to you or not. You can try it if you feel like you want to, but you know you're not supposed to.
Is everyone still asleep? Since I'm technically
I imagine.
Yes. Okay. I will go to the Upside Down and try and retrieve the dead plants that were in the terrarium and bring them back to the same room of the botany lab, but on the normal plane.
Yeah, easy enough.
Okay, so I'll bring it back and put it in the botany lab. I'm getting feelings that I should put it in the moon room.
Okay.
Obviously, there's no cameras in a recording, but Cass is looking at me very interestingly.
I am asleep.
Okay.
On the floor.
And also, you set up everyone else is asleep in the moon room. So, that's where you all set up your tiny hut.
Oh, I thought we set it up in the central area, so never mind.
Nope.
I will go and grab... Sorry, that was a long pause. I will also go and grab the other tiny plant that was alive in the dirt pot and bring it to the moon room and wait for everyone to wake up with my cup of coffee and the two things of plants and say, okay, I'm ready, whenever everyone's up.
Yeah, so 2 hours later, your companions wake up. Still early in the day, but at an early enough time that being awake is fine, and you would wake up to Nori sitting there with a pre-brewed pot of coffee and plants from the Upside Down world.
Great. Just seeing that image as soon as Frog opens her eyes, she's gonna be like, not the coffee. And then slowly sit up and pour herself a little cup of coffee as well, so she can handle caffeinated Nori.
So while you all were asleep, I ended up going and getting the two kinds of plants. So now we can like totally figure out what we should do with these plants. Yeah.
A lot of the term "we" being used there.
Okay. Well, sometimes it's just hard for me to think about these things. So I figured why not just bring them here so I saved you all the maybe terror of going through the black or whatever mist we went through yesterday. And they're here. Could I roll a nature check? Oh gosh. I'm dumb, but that's okay. A nature check on the plants, or did we do that yesterday? The ones that were inside the terrarium.
You can roll one. You tried one yesterday, and none of you did anything with it. But also, I don't even think Nori tried, because I'm pretty sure you were the first one to walk in and go, well, these are plants, and leave. So feel free to make a nature check if you want.
Okay. I will also guide myself. And can you describe the room that we're in, the moon room, just one more time?
So it's like it's a glass not cylinder, like a glass sphere, but not perfectly circular, but just like panes of glass making up a kind of, like it would be a sunroom in any other building, but here outside it seems to be like a stilled night of an eclipsed moon.
I rolled a 21.
Okay. Yeah, and what are you trying to figure out about these plants?
What type of environment they need to grow in? And I'm really trying to see and understand if I put them in the moonlight, if anything would happen. Which granted, yes, I understand I could literally just do that. Or if there's anything I could search for in the botany lab on the normal plane that would potentially help us or help me figure out what I can do with these plants.
Yeah, putting it in the moonlight does nothing. You can just do that and it does nothing. If you wanted to look through the botany lab, you did not spend any time there either. So you'd have to go actively look around there. Both rooms, you both kind of went, we don't care, and left and walked out. But of the plants themselves, the one that's remaining, it's the same sort of plant as the one that's dead. You can tell based on like the stem shape and the leaves and everything that they're the same sorts of plant. And doing some of like your like reading up of like medical herbs and stuff you've done in the past, it's a type of plant where the stalk is very poisonous, but the leaves are very good for healing stuff. So a plant that takes a lot of careful consideration when working with.
Okay, and what does the alive plant have on it? Does it have just the stem, or does it have a stem and leaves?
It's got all the leaves. Like, it looks like it's a perfectly, like, if it would be found in the wild, it'd be a perfect version of that plant.
Okay. Okay, so we haven't explored the sideways staircase, and we really didn't look super hard in the botany lab. So maybe we take a look in the botany lab, search for like some cool documents about this plant, and I'll tell everyone about the maybe like medicinal uses of the plant. And if we find something, cool. If not, let's go explore the sideways staircase in the normal plane. That's what we've established. Nope. Okay, other plane.
So you want to go to the sideways staircase in the upside down, in the botany lab, in the right side up.
Yes, but in reverse order. So botany lab, then sideways staircase.
All right.
Frog, who has finally recovered from last night, is going to be like, I would rather not go to the botany lab, but I'll meet you at the staircase.
The botany lab on the right side place, the normal plane doesn't have the mist.
Oh. I'm so confused by all of this, but it's fine. Okay. Fine, Frog will go.
And I'll look at Seph and Alto as we leave, being like, do you guys want to come, or do you guys want to chill here?
Oh, they're not awake yet. It's 6 a.m. They're not awake yet.
Should someone stay with them?
Frog, if you want, why don't you stay with them and have some more coffee? Relax. And I will drag Cass by the pant leg to or by the cloak. You wear a cloak, right?
It's billowy, but yes.
I will wear by the billowy cloak to the other room.
Okay. Yeah, you're able to drag Cass by the billowy cloak to the other room. This was the room that the walls are lined with all like the like samplings of each of the plants, little snippets, but there was nothing, like there was no main table. It would be a spot where like they have all the fertilizers, they have all the stuff you would need to make plants grow. There's just no spot for the plants.
Okay. Is there any info on the plants, or that's what you mean and I'm just misunderstanding?
What do you mean on the plants?
For instance, if I could try and find a book or pages on whatever this plant is called, now
It's
that
not got books or pages, but like there's a bunch of stuff like on the walls. Like essentially, like people like it's like you're walking into a research room where like there's just a bunch of plant history all over the place.
Okay. What does the history tell me? Can I read it?
Yeah. Well, do you speak Elven?
No. I speak Sylvan and Spiritual and Common. Oh, sorry. Sylvan, Spiritual, and Common.
Then no, unless you have a way of comprehending the languages, you can tell. You can see that there are diagrams about how to plant plants and stuff to make them better, but none of the notes here are written in Common.
I should have gone. I have comprehension languages.
Cass clears his throat, clearly reading what is on the wall because he does read Elvish.
So
Good.
Maury will be really hardly staring, because those are words, at the wall, being like, okay, so I do the soil, and then water, and then plant, and then I'll look at Cass.
And I'm going to say that's not what it says at all.
So you can read this and you were just watching me struggle for like 5 minutes trying to decipher and like looking through my book of spells to see if I could help myself?
I don't know why that surprises you in the slightest.
Anyway, so Cass, what does it say?
Yeah, you can
And
see that it just gives you instructions about like about herbal growth and the ways to plant different medicinal things so that their like essentially that their vitamin and healing capacities are far higher than they would be in any other spot. You also would see ones that look like the plant Nori is carrying around, and you would see ones that they're about how like if you grow it or like if you prune it when it's too early, the leaves haven't had a chance to fully become medicinal yet and would still be quite toxic. So if you're trying to handle the plant, making sure you know the right time before the leaves are old and dead and useless, but before they're poisoned in little vials.
And I just relay that to you. Also, just for your knowledge, as you are pondering after I say it, I'm just going to take out like an extra piece of paper and pen that I have in my backpack and just sort of take the spark notes down so we don't need to keep coming back to this room.
Perfect. So I will go ahead and take some of the fertilizer and attempt to carefully take the dead plant out of the terrarium, put the fertilizer in, or whatever, in terms of following the steps of what Cass had told me, and try to replant this plant so that way it may have an opportunity to grow. I'm also going to water, I will water the other plant that has the dead soil and see if that does anything to the soil. If not, I will then replant the other plant as well.
Okay. And make a nature check for all of it. And if you have anything that will help with plants, do that. But you're not really like your druid craft might help with it, or if you have plant growth, anything like that. But otherwise, just do a basic nature check.
I will enhance my ability, or I will can't cast enhance ability, and then do Fox's cunning, so I can at least have investigation. So I can at least have advantage on it because I am dumb as shit.
Okay.
Okay, that was better. 16.
Yeah, on a 16, like, especially when you water the one that seems frozen in time, it doesn't seem to break the illusion, but like not the illusion, it doesn't seem to break the effect, but the water seeps into the pot, and it seems like it will provide more support for whatever's keeping this thing alive if it were to be needing to be keeping itself alive. And on a 16, you're pretty confident that you set up the other one to, in time, grow into the plant it needs to grow into.
Because Nori really just wants to give this a home run. Would the information that Cass read also talk about the type of light it needs to be in? Not meaning moonlight, just meaning like full shade, partial shade, full sun.
Yeah, I think Cassie would know that it's a plant that does well in, like, partial sun cover type thing.
Obviously, I'll relay this.
Perfect.
I'm not gonna not tell you.
Then with that as well, I will put both of the plants in maybe some area of the temple that looks like, though it's early morning, that the way that the sunlight is going to hit now will give us the clues that maybe it will be the right type of sunlight for it.
You'd have to take it outside because the eternal twilight in here doesn't match the description. But if you wanted to put it in like the right sunspot, you just have to go outside and put it outside, which is fine.
I will go outside and I'll do that then.
Okay, cool. Frog, what are you up to?
Frog would be writing Dolly a letter. Well, I guess, no. Wait. No, I don't have that. I was gonna say sending, but I don't have sending. It's fine. She'll write Dolly a letter explaining what they're up to and how we're in this weird little place. That she misses her and hopes to see her soon, and then kind of asks how she's doing and what she's up to. And then we'll tuck that away to send later. And then she will see if the brothers are waking up yet, or if they're stirring at all.
Yeah, like, we'll say that they're stirring to the point that, like, they know others are awake, and if they need to be up, they can be, but they're not actively trying to get themselves up.
Okay.
To do with
yeah,
that information as Frog does.
Yeah, no, Frog will leave them alone because she understands sleep is important. Well, she doesn't understand many other things. But she'll just leave them alone and kind of wait for Cass and Nori to get back so that they can go to the staircase.
Okay. So back to Cass and Nori outside. What do you do after putting the plants down?
I will take my little silver pine cone, hold it in my hands, and say, "Dear Forking God, I really hope that this works." Sorry, dear Forking Titania, I really hope that this works. And attempt to send an additional prayer, thanking Titania for this wonderful opportunity to prove myself, and then turn back and go inside, and then see if we can try and head to the sideways staircase.
Do you head back to Frog prior to Sideways Staircase, or just head to Sideways Staircase?
No, I will head back to Frog, making sure that I drag Cass back with me just for comedic sake, because I know it's probably going to bother the fork out of him.
As she's like dragging me back in, can I just take just a quick glance at the plant? Does anything seem to be happening at this?
Right now, it just seems to be like it's sitting in its ideal growing conditions.
All right. Yeah.
It's not dead. It's not more dead than it was before. So.
Hopefully.
Frog will scribble a little note to the brothers before we leave, saying, "We're going to the weird staircase." And just leave it by them.
Yeah. Yeah. Heading off to the weird sideways staircase then. Yeah, you travel back down into the upside down place, travel over to the main area of that one where you go to the staircase that starts to go up before suddenly going sideways. And when you get to the end of that, you get to a room that has just a couple of gemstones sitting on pedestals. They're small enough, they're about like an inch wide by half an inch tall, and they just seem to be sitting on pedestals.
Uh-huh. There's nothing else in the room. Like, no little holes to put the gemstones in. It's just the gemstones on some pedestals.
You can make a perception check if you want.
Why not? I'm perceptive. Sometimes.
I'll give you guidance.
Oh, thanks. You know, I was still pretty good. I can do math. 27.
No. Seems like it's a weird room that's meant to hold these. Some of that's hard to get to. Like most people wouldn't just randomly find their way here unless they're actually exploring. So maybe that's why it's rather sparse, but the only things that seem to be in here are the pedestals holding up the gems.
By looking at them, can we tell if they should, like, ideally not be touched, or do we think that we, like, make a history check or
It seemed
anything on what they might be?
Seem like they can be touched.
Okay.
And you're easy enough to recognize on site. There's an onyx, a ruby, a citrine, and a diamond.
Okay.
Citrine, ruby, and a diamond.
And an onyx, if you missed that one.
I got the first one. Thank you. Lovely. Perfect. Where was the guardian when we were heading down? Still by the doorway to the upside down?
No, but at this point it would have been over by the campsite.
Okay. Lovely. I'll turn to Cass and say, you have that like little hand thing, right? That like goes poof and just goes blah, 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 asking if you have mage hand.
Nope.
Looking towards Frog. Frog, do you have the little thing that goes blah, 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 asking Frog if she has mage hand?
Yes, Frog does.
Is there any way we could like maybe just use mage hand to try and pick one of these up just to see if anyone else has any other better ideas?
Yeah. I
mean, do you want me to just go pick it up?
Yeah, go ahead, Cass.
All right. Which one do you want me to grab?
Why don't you pick up the diamond first?
That one. I'm gonna grab the onyx first.
Okay. You pick it up.
How big is it?
He said an inch.
Like an inch by like a half inch, like small little diamonds and gems.
So it's okay. All right. I mean, I'll pick it up. Just sort of look at it in my hand. Look around. Does anything happen? Am I smitten by God instantly?
No.
I'm just gonna
I
like
feel
start
like you should take
shaking in place.
Nori will scream.
And I'm like, no, I'm fine. Nothing happened.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, okay. Or sorry. Oh, Titania. Oh, you scared me.
And as she's freaking out, I'll be like, although I do sort of feel weird, and I'm gonna like sort of like just like touch my face and cast disguise self and make myself look like Nori.
Okay.
Jesus, what's going on?
I don't know. I feel shorter.
Is he then? You are still tall.
I'm still taller
that's
than
what I
you,
thought.
even with as much as I can modify. I'm still taller than you.
I will. Go ahead, Frog.
Should we put them in the moon room? Isn't that like a thing? Like gems and things are supposed to go into the moonlight. That's like witchy stuff, right?
I guess the only question I have is we went into the sideways staircase to get here, and this is one of the rooms in the hallway or the only room in the hallway?
After it turns sideways and goes to the end, this seems to be the capstone of this place. Like, there's nothing here beyond this room.
Okay, so this is the only thing. And there is nothing else. It's pretty much just a bland hallway leading to here, and that's it. Nothing special going on in it.
Nope.
All right, well, think about all the rooms we've been in. Is there anywhere else that would make sense to have these?
No, but then why does the botany room down here have the weird mist in it? No other space has that weirdness to it. Alright, well, we're just thinking about it too much. Sure! Frog, that sounds like a great idea. I will be the one that takes the other 3 gemstones. Per everyone saying it's okay.
Yeah, we're following your lead, so.
Okay, I'll take the other 3.
Yeah, you pick him up.
Do you want to just... And I'll just give you the other one, just so it's not me holding one random stone. So you have all 4.
Nothing happens? Okay, well, there's nothing else in the Upside Down for us to investigate? Or look?
The sideways world?
Yes.
No.
I will let Frog and Cass go back to the normal plane and then go check out the seasons room and the day and night room again in this sideways plane.
Well, as you're leaving the sideways plane, I think you'd all notice, because of where the staircase comes to, there's now a white fog cloud to the room that was the underground terrarium. Like the room that was like the sunroom but only underground. That has a fog over it now. Whether or not the other 2 want to leave it or not, that seems to have changed when you've come back with the gemstones.
I'm
So we have
staying
to go
with
through
you.
and get out?
No, it's like the arboretums on the one side and the other things on the other side. So pretty much imagine a staircase going up, one to the left, one to the right. One's a black cloud. Now we need to go through a white cloud to get into the other one that really had nothing in it previously.
Yes.
So, I mean, you can tell us to go. I'm going to stick with you, though, because I don't think you going by yourself is really a smart idea.
Sure. Frog, if you don't want to go, that's okay. Also, I will go first regardless. So I can let you know what happens and be honest with you if you want.
Yeah, that sounds good. Frog will consider going.
You don't need any more trauma. And Nori will do like the little rainbow hand gesture with her hands as she says that.
And as she does that, I'll do prestidigitation and actually make a rainbow between my hands.
Perfect.
And I will take the gemstones, stones, and walk through the white mist.
Yeah, when you walk through, you would see... well, first it feels like just sitting into a nice hot spring. Like, you feel, if you were injured, that all of your pain would be gone. You feel like any sort of like mal thought you have in your head relaxes a bit as you just feel more serene walking through the white cloud and into this place. You'd also see the brothers. They got the frog's note about wandering around, like, well, we don't want to go to those places, we don't know where they're at, so they figured they'll end up here, and this seemed new. So you see Seph and Alto just sitting in this room playing a card game, like, it feels nice in here. It's a good spot.
Oh, hey, one moment. And then I'll shout back through the hallway, it's just like a little sauna. I didn't have any visions or anything, or any memories. It's okay.
Frog will walk through.
Yeah. Same thing. It feels like a nice, relaxation room.
I'll go through as well, just sort of closing everything out.
Nice, yeah. When you're in here, you'd all have been here before, actually. All 5 of you came in here the first time. So the only distinct difference is that now there seems to be, like, underground lights coming out of the crust of the earth here. Like, throughout the dirt and everything, there seems to be little motes of light that are coming through. They're not shining bright enough to, like, make this room well lit, but they are starting to, like, crack through the earth.
Okay. And there's multiple areas, so to speak. There's not 4.
No, it's several of them.
Okay. I am going to go to the brightest or largest cracked area and try and put each stone in the light and see if anything reflects off of it. I can see anything in the stone or whatever that would kind of look like.
Yeah. What stone are you putting up first?
I will go I'll go in order of the way that we saw them in the room. So we'll start with onyx.
Okay. When you hold the onyx up, even though it's like a very dark stone, you're able to like just hold it up and kind of put your eye to it, and you see engraved on the inside of it are the lines, "On the shore of the lake, the deep dark lake."
Or of the lake, the deep, dark lake.
I am writing this down as you're saying it out loud in real time in the room.
Oh, okay.
So you're not just having to try to remember this.
I was also writing it down. Anyway, and I'll say, "Oh, I found something." Okay, so then I'll put the onyx back in my pocket and I'll take out the citrine and do the same thing.
Yep, on that one you'd see the lines, "My love once sang to me, her voice like honey never left my mind."
Do you got it, Dan?
My love once sang to me, her voice like honey never left my mind.
And then I will do it with the ruby.
On that it says, "My heart is hers to take."
Okay.
And then finally the diamond.
It says, "Her eyes so bright."
Okay. That's really great. Lovely. A poem. And I'll say, "Now what?" Ah! And then look towards Cass and say, "Can you repeat the whole thing, even if it doesn't make any sense, in the way that you wrote it down?"
So in the order you did it, you want me to repeat it back to you?
Yes.
Okay. And I'll take the paper out and I'll straighten it out, clear my voice a little bit, and then in my normal voice, just read it all back to her. So, on the shore of the lake, the deep dark lake, my love once saying to me her voice, like never left my mind. My heart is hers to take, her eyes so bright.
Would we have seen anywhere in either this upside down place or normal plane where we could have put the rocks in a specific, or the gems in a specific order?
No.
No? Okay.
Do you think it's supposed to be in a specific order?
Yes.
Well, there's multiple ways you could look at this. And okay, I see the stones.
Sure, I'll give Cass the stones.
And in my hands, I'll just like order them in terms of darkest. So start at onyx and then go to how we seen it: onyx, citrine, ruby, emerald, so like dark to light, since not emerald, diamond. Sorry,
Damn it, but yeah.
going that way. Or you could do light to dark. You could do diamond, citrine, because citrine's like a yellowish orange, ruby, and then onyx. Or you do alphabetical by the name of the stone.
Nori's just gonna look at you and be like, "That was a lot of words." Okay, so let's just do the thought process of alphabetical. I know my ABDs. So sorry. Can you just say, what was the citrine line?
My love once saying to me, her voice like honey never left my mind.
Diamond.
Her eyes so bright.
Onyx.
On the shore of the lake, the deep dark lake.
Ruby.
My heart is hers to take.
I don't think that's quite it. No?
I mean, I think that sort of makes sense.
Oh. And I'll look it towards the brothers and say, opinions?
I'm not sure. Like, I think the poem sounded better the first time, but also I don't know what it's gonna do when you. I don't know if there's any way we can know it's in the right order unless just saying it out loud does something. So I guess we could try all of them or see if they go somewhere else. I don't know.
Any of the pictures that we saw or the depictions throughout my college tour, does any of the pictures look like it's depicting something like this?
None of them seem to be depicting any sort of like love scene on a lake. None of them seem to be depicting gems of any kind. So you have a feeling
And
it's
one more-
probably either entirely unrelated or would be in part of the place you haven't gone to yet.
Okay, so there is a place we haven't gone yet.
Mhm.
For the people in the back, can you remind me of the place that we haven't gone yet?
You've not yet made it into that library you're trying to get into.
Oh, that's literally it.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Lovely. Is there any beam of this moonlight or light that's coming out that's wide enough for all 4 gemstones to fit if we put them next to each other?
Well, it's not like light's coming out of them. It's just like backlit. Like it's backlit enough. There's no beams of light. It's like when you hold it up, you can see there. There's not like
It's
beams of it.
It's like a projector almost, where it's like light's being cast from it, but not at a very high volume.
Sure. Okay. Well, I think we may have found the purpose of this room. Unless anyone else has any other further ideas. So then maybe let's go back to the library door and see if we can glean anything there.
Should we go check your plant?
Oh yeah, I guess that's a good idea.
And then probably library door to see if maybe
Okay, yes, go check on my little plants. I named them. I named them Barbara 2 and Cassius.
So creative. Am I the dead one?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Figured as much.
So
Barb, the
going
brothers are going
outside.
to stay in this room. Are you going to stay with them, or are you going to follow to meet Barbara too and Cassius?
I will follow. That was not the moon room, correct? The moon room is in separate place.
The moon room is upstairs in the normal place. Yes.
This is the upside down moon room.
Yes, that's what I thought. I still think we should take those to the moon room at some point just to see.
Well, I
But-
mean, we're going to be up there to see the plants anyway.
Yeah.
So, but also, should we at least like touch base with Seph and Alto before we abandon them in an upside down version of a room we just slept in?
Well, they're there.
I don't
They
think
listened to
so.
this whole
Yeah,
conversation.
they listen.
They went
They
through
know
the
what's
whole
going on.
meeting with you all yesterday. No,
Just
they
like-
know the layout.
I mean, just maybe give them a heads up, like, hey, we'll be back. Like, we're not abandoning you in this random temple that Nori wanted us to go to.
It's like the room's not big enough for them to not be a part of what you're doing. It feels like you're in a nice, relaxing sauna, and they want to not be with the 3 of you causing whatever chaos you're all causing. It's also only like 7 a.m., so they're enjoying a slow morning to themselves.
All right. Since they obviously did hear all this, like you said, I'll just take out like a couple of my rations and just leave each of them. Yeah, I mean, just to be courteous, I'll leave each of them one. I know one of them is not needed, but we'll leave each of them one.
Yeah, we'll be here, or we'll go back upstairs. I don't know. We kind of had a talk last night about following Nori into places that we don't know, and while we appreciated the history lesson, Cass kind of told us it's all a lie after you went to bed. So we're just gonna kind of hang out here.
And with that, I'm going to cast Elemental Gift and fly out of the room.
Nice.
And I will fly after.
Leaving Frog to walk behind you.
Yeah, that's a little rude, but it's fine.
Nice. And are you heading to the moon room upstairs first in the normal place, to the plants outside first in the normal place, or to the library first?
Why don't we do plans, moon room, library?
I feel like that's a linear path. Is that what you want to do?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yes, yeah. You go and you pick up your plants. Cassius, the plant, doesn't look any extra dead. And Barbara too. The plant hasn't fully sprouted, but you can see like a little growth starting down at the bottom of the pot.
Oh, it's kind of working. Good job, plants. And I'll hold my pine cone and say, "Thank you, Titania," and then fly after Cass still to go to the moon room and shout, "Sorry, frog!" in the background.
Frog, as you get to the plants, as the two of them fly away, anything you want to try and do with the plants?
No. Just observe them and head to the moon room. Picking up the pace a little bit so she doesn't get left behind yet again.
Yeah, you all make it to the moon room, and it seems that the eclipsed moon has switched, so it's now a solar eclipse, not a lunar eclipse. And you see that if you were able to reach up to where it's at, you could pick a key out from inside of the boiling hot sun that is depicted in the wall.
Mage
We-
hand?
I like your thinking, frog. Right. And yes, we should do that.
Okay, Frog will cast Mage Hand in the hopes that we don't boil our own hands off.
Yeah, that's fine. You can reach up and grab the key and pull it out. It seems fine. It's a
Okay.
small, like weirdly, like amorphous key that has like a general key vibe, but like you didn't even see a keyhole on the wall. You kind of get the sense that like you are also the one that was the most accurately attuned to the magic of it. That it's more of like a proximity key than like an actual like lock and turn
Okay.
key.
Okay. Frog will pass this information on and then hand it to Nori.
A key! Do we want to try and do anything else in this room, or are we thinking that we got what we needed from this room? Okay, cool. Looking at the blank stare of Cass and then the frog having just handed Nori the key, we will fly to the library.
Oh my
Unless-
god.
Unless Cass wanted to do anything in the moon room.
Okay. I'm just gonna gently land my feet on the floor and look you very, very, very directly in the eyes. Nori, you are the Twilight Cleric. I have no idea what
Who?
we're doing here.
Me? I'm the Twilight Cleric? No, you don't say. And I'll fly away.
And I will, at this point, I will just walk with Frog at a normal pace.
Thank you.
Nori, when you get to like that statuary corridor that has the library on the other side, do you wait for your companions, or are you just flying directly to the door first?
I will wait for my companions and I will stop flying.
Cool. So then all three of you are able to approach the library at the same time. With the key in hand, you are able to like just kind of approach it, and you feel like kind of start reacting. That if you wanted to fully open it, all you have to do is get closer.
I will get closer then.
You see the glass kind of like move to the side, never fully breaking and never fully like stopping existing, just moving to a way that creates an entrance. And can I get a Constitution saving throw from all of you, please?
Great.
Wait. Okay.
Hmm.
12.
11.
Also
Okay.
11.
Cool. All three of you, as like the door open, just feel this like poisonous gas enter into your lungs, and each of you will have the poison condition. And at the end of each minute, we'll roll a d6 as you take poison damage.
Great.
As like just this like weirdly green gas descends as you enter into the library, and all of you feel it get deep inside your systems and start poisoning you.
Nice. Nice. Lovely. I am going to look at them and say, I'm so sorry. Let's try and get out of here quick.
What are you trying?
Can I try and dispel magic?
On what?
Or the poison? Like, is it a magical effect that we're getting?
No, it's a natural poison cloud that's just been released upon opening.
Cool. Instead, I am then going to cast at all of my second level.
So why don't you do yourself first?
I will cast protection from poison on myself.
Okay. Let me check what that does. Cool. Yeah. You cast it upon yourself and you feel it go away.
Does anything happen? Sorry. Let me rephrase that. Does anything happen in the space because I am protecting myself from the poison?
No.
Okay.
Sounds like
then
you all
I
haven't
will-
even entered in yet. Like, you're just in the hallway being sick.
I will then also cast it on Frog and Cass.
Yeah. For the next hour, you all are resistant to poison damage and have advantage against being poisoned. And you feel it coming off of you. Who did you cast it on last, Nori? Frog or Cass?
Cass.
Okay. Cass, oh god, you take 6 points of poison damage in the time it takes Nori to get her thoughts together and finish casting the spell for everyone.
That sounds right. Now, question. We technically took a long rest. Does the temp HP from Nori's previous things still stay up? Okay,
No,
just one.
it goes away at a long rest. So unless
Okay,
Nori
so
recasts
that is-
Twilight Sanctuary or anything, no
So that's
HP
0.
for anyone.
Nope, that makes sense. That's what I sort of thought. Okay, I'm good.
Then yeah, you enter in. Well, I'm assuming Nori, you enter in after freeing your
Yes.
friends. Yeah. You enter in and you see just like troves of books. Like one of those rooms that kind of doesn't look like it should be existing. There's way more room on the inside of this room than there should be room inside of this room. But the thing that would call your attention the most is that on a pedestal up on like the second floor is a large, like huge book that seems to be sitting in a different spot than the rest of them.
I will run up there and look at the book, while also casting detect magic just to see if there's anything else that pings my attention aside from this whole area just kind of being magical.
Yeah, there are a couple books that seem to be like distinctly like spell books or like books of magical kind on the shelves. Like there's no one spot that seems the most magical than anything else, but you can tell that some of the books in this room would be considered magic items.
Okay, perfect. I will still go to Big Heavy Book and then maybe point out 2 other books for maybe Cass and Frog to take a look at that were gleaned from my detect magic.
I'll follow closely, but as you suggest that, I'll just sort of point out, be like, I don't think we should touch anything. This is definitely an area for like your clerics in general. Like I would feel like it would be wrong for me to start meddling in this stuff.
Okay, never mind. And I'll just go and
Frog, are you
look
meddling in the books?
I think she would be curious too, but I don't necessarily know that she would want to touch it. Like,
Okay.
I don't know, maybe she'd like run up behind Nori and like read over her shoulder. But
Well, Nora's going to the big book. I was asking if you were interacting with any of like the magical books on the shelves.
no.
Cool. Then yeah, Nori, when you get to the big book up top, it's sealed with a latch on it, and you see that there are 4 like little 1-inch by half-inch slots on the cover.
Oh my god.
And there's one to the left, top, right, and bottom.
Great. Is anything else on the book? Meaning, like,
Like,
What
it's
else
very
is on?
decorative. It's like got lots of depictions of like miracles committed by Twilight clerics. It's got other gemstones that are different than these like 4 slots, the ones that you're holding. It doesn't have a title or anything. It's just a very large leather-bound book.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll try it in alphabetical order, because that's what you read, and you said it sounded like it made sense, correct?
I mean, but the brothers also said it sounded like it made sense the way we read it before. So why don't you just do it in the order the pedestals were?
Okay. I'll take Cass's advice and do it in the order on the pedestal that they were on the pedestals. So do onyx starting from north or 12 o'clock and going clockwise. So onyx, citrine, ruby, diamond.
We're putting onyx on top, citrine on the right, ruby on the bottom,
Diamond
and
on
then diamond on the left.
Yes.
Cool. You will take 10 points of bludgeoning damage as the gems shoot out and hit you, as it seems that it was not the right pattern.
Great. Thanks for the suggestion, Cass. And then try one more time, just for shiz and gigs, alphabetical order. So still starting from the top. Citrine, diamond, onyx, ruby.
You will take an additional 8 points of piercing damage as you are once again shot by gemstones.
Well, both of those didn't work very well, so let's try and read this again. Okay, so it definitely doesn't start with citrine, and it definitely also does not start with onyx.
Can it? Okay. So
Oh wait, never mind.
you did onyx,
Sorry, I'm dumb. It can still start with those. Wow.
ruby. Wait, onyx, citrine, diamond, ruby. You did
No,
onyx, citrine, ruby,
ruby, diamond, and then
Really, do you have it
citrine.
written out so that you could see it, or do you need it sent to you?
No, I
We have
have
it
it written down.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Diamond. Ruby.
No,
Onyx, ruby.
Okay, so you know those orders did not work.
Okay. On the lake, the shore of the lake, the deep dark lake.
Did we just flip ruby and diamond? Did we try that?
Ruby and diamond.
We did OCR D CD OR.
So we
I
could
feel
do.
like it's onyx, citrine, diamond, ruby.
Let's talk through your reasonings and thoughts for listening reasons. Let's have some descriptions of thought.
Okay. Julie, say that one more time again.
Frog.
Okay.
said-
We are metagaming.
Yeah.
Sorry. Frog, go ahead.
I said onyx, citrine, diamond, then ruby.
Okay.
So it would be like
So-
on the shore of the lake, the deep dark lake. My loved one sang to me, her voice like honey, never left my mind. Her eyes so bright, my life is to take.
Nori's
I
gonna
don't
look at Cass and say, "How about you try that one? I don't want to get pelted again."
All right, now I'll do it. But if I touch this book and the ceiling starts collapsing,
Okay, fine.
It
I
is
will,
your
okay,
fault.
Okay. I will do it. And so it will be, again, 12 o'clock going clockwise. Onyx, citrine, diamond, ruby.
Okay. You get 5 points of damage as they are rejected and thrown into you.
Okay, well that didn't fucking work.
at this, Cass does laugh a little bit, just sort of see you get pelted with stones for the third consecutive time.
So I do like it starting with on the shore of the lake, the deep dark lake. That feels like a beginning sentence. My loved one sang to me, her voice like never left my mind.
Like honey. I forgot to type.
Oh,
that
like
word.
honey. Okay. I heard. Okay, hold on. Is the ruby line, my heart is hers to take. Sean? Okay.
Yeah.
Take and Lake rhyme. So maybe it's O space R. So onyx something, ruby something. Because rhyming schemes is in poetry. Nori's
And the other two don't.
or they're next
It would have
each
to
other.
be. It would have to be ODRC because you already did OCRD.
On the shore of the lake, the deep dark lake, my heart is hers to take. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. My loved one sang to me, her voice like honey never left my mind. My heart is hers to take. None of this makes any sense! Poetry! And Nori will stomp her feet because she's angry. Ugh! On the shore of the lake, the deep dark lake.
Also, you're also trying to figure out, like, which one goes where, and it seems to give you descriptions about where things are in the poem. So maybe not putting it in the right order, but seeing what it tells you about each gemstone.
Okay.
Hey, Citrine says left.
On the shore, the deep dark lake.
I guess
Her
deep would be down, but then it's shore.
Eyes so bright, going to the sky. Is it your heart on your right side?
Yes.
I want you to sit.
No,
and
our
think
left.
about
Our
what
left.
this says.
What? It's on the left?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh. I'm not very smart as a human in addition to a cleric. Okay. My love once sang to me in her voice, soft in my mind. Mind could be high. Eyes are also high. I don't forking know. So we need to look at the lines and see what their position, what they talk about in terms of position.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna
Totally.
find
That's what you get after putting them in 18 million times and getting shot every time. You eventually come to the realization, maybe read the words not as a poem, but as instructions.
On the shore of the lake, the deep dark lake. Okay, so onyx would be the ground.
Sure, I'll go with that.
So I'll put onyx in the bottom, so the 6 o'clock position.
Okay.
My love once sang to me, her voice, like it never lost my mind.
Left. Voice like honey never left my mind.
Okay, sure. I will put citrine on the left-hand side.
So 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock.
Mhm.
My heart is hers to take. Yeah, my heart is hers to take. Really, what do you gleam about the position there?
I thought it was life. Is it life or heart?
It's heart.
Okay.
Diamonds so bright in the sky, so I'll put diamond at the.
I mean, if you're sure on the other two, it's a 50-50 chance you get this one right.
I don't want to be forking pelted again.
Can't you heal yourself?
Yeah, I know. Okay, I'll just put ruby on the right-hand side since that's the only place that R for right.
So, okay, we're doing in this order in clockwise, we're doing D,
Yes.
R, O, C. Draw.
Yes.
When you do that, it unlatches itself and the book flies open.
Oh, Jesus.
To a seemingly blank page that seems to just be present in front of you, allowing a Twilight Cleric to get any information that their ancestors would have had for them.
But it's a blank page.
Because we haven't asked it anything yet.
Oh, okay. Just wanted to make sure my brain wasn't messing up. Okay. Perfect. Lovely. So I'm going to look at
Also,
Cass and... Oh, go ahead.
Can you make a perception check for me, Nori?
Oh, man. Yeah. I can make a perception check. Ooh, alright, 24.
You see that while your attention was taken, on the fourth mistake of something, that by now the Guardian is standing in the room staring directly up at you.
Oh, nice. I'll look down and say, "So sorry, we'll be very quick and leave."
Clarification. Can Frog and I see the Guardian, or is it still just her?
And either of you see into the ethereal plane?
No.
Okay, all right. A simple no would have been sufficed, Sean.
Hey, some of you all are high enough level that some of you can at this point. I need to ask.
That's true. Also, seeing Nori act weird, I will just sort of like tap my chest and just re-up mage armor for the day. Just sort of feeling a little bit uneasy, her talking to not us.
Okay. Can I gather from the book previous knowledge of maybe this temple if I have limited questions or within reason unlimited questions?
Doesn't seem like there's anything stopping you from doing anything.
Okay.
Doesn't feel like there's a limiter here.
Okay. I will first ask the book. Has there been any magic within the Fae history? No, that's Forkingdom. We know that already. I will look to Cass and I will look to Frog. Is there anything you guys think that we should ask? I should ask. Because we know where the pink magic is from. It's from Gemini. But we don't know a ton of information about Gemini, aside from the fact that I will say she, quote unquote, sucks. And wanted to be more immortal, so she found a way to remove a blood, and now she has a twin that is her blood. I know that makes a lot of sense, but that is what my notes say.
Yes.
Yes.
That's correct. Frog, did you have anything?
No.
I mean, so we know that Gemini is not back to, like, full power, correct, Sean? Like, that's the information we've received. You could always ask if there's anything to stop her from coming back to her full power.
I'm going to say exactly that to the book, because if I say it any other way, my words will screw it up. So I'm going to repeat verbatim what Cass just said.
Sure, yeah. You'd see it scroll out, and it does it in whatever your primary language is. So, Nor, if you would be written in Sylvan, Cass and Frog looking at it, you'd see it in Common. That it presents to you that in the... Dan, can you repeat your question for Sean to make sure I get the answer right?
Yeah, it was, is there any way to stop Gemini, right?
Yes.
From returning to full power?
Yeah. You would see the simple right back of destroy the one bringing her back.
Okay.
Which is, what's her name? Right? Cassiopeia? Is that, she's the one who's...
Oh,
We're not sure
I
yet.
don't think you'd all assume that. You all haven't really looked into it much.
No, Cassiopeia just makes everyone want to hate her, so, I mean, good guess, but probably not true.
Frog
Okay.
just wants it to be Cassiopeia for personal reasons. Frog just wants to kill
Yeah.
Cassiopeia.
Cassiopeia was seeing little pink magic. That's all I was saying.
True.
No, she wasn't.
When she
No
came...
person-
No, the person
That was-
at the person at the presentation was using the pink magic. Cassiopeia was in the room, but the person on
Right.
stage was the one that cast it out.
Right.
Because that's when we decided that Quizzle needed to walk into a crowd of 1,000 people and get stepped on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you've never seen her be involved in the magic of the church in any capacity.
Oh, okay. I thought that she was connected to that announcement, so that's why
I mean, she was there for it because it's her town she has to
Yeah.
protect, but she's not part of the church.
Why don't the forest fairies like Gemini?
You see it do a weird thing where it like starts to like type out and then erase itself, and then type out and then erase itself, and then type out and erase itself, and then be like, she sucks.
Okay. From our research before, we don't know how Gemini was able to remove her blood.
No.
I will ask that then. If the history books know how Gemini removed the blood from herself to make herself a twin.
Yeah, it would give you back an answer that she like essentially channeled all of her like divinity into herself to keep casting, like to essentially permanently be casting cure wounds on herself so she never dies while she drained herself of it. And then when enough it was outside, used like some necromancy to make her blood a simulacrum of herself so that she could have two of herself.
Okay. What can we ask about the brothers?
I'll look to Frog and see if she's chiming up on anything with this one.
I guess whether if Gemini dies,
Yeah.
does
Anyone
they die?
By her magic,
Right.
tethered to this world through her magic, die as well.
That.
Yeah. You'd get back from the book that it would be dependent on the wording of the fake contract they made with her.
Okay. And we
Do
can
they
kind of assume.
Sorry, Farah, go ahead.
And we can assume that Gemini is not the best, so I feel like it probably wouldn't. But we don't really know that for sure. But
Do we have access via this book to the language that was written into the fake contract?
No. You'd have to like either get it from like Gemini or go like literally go to the Feywild and ask Titania to see like the Vault of Records. You could also see if Alto remembers what he asked in the time, but all he just told you is that he like blacked out, made some sort of plea that he just kind of like said, hoping it worked, and then woke up a few days later.
Okay.
So we could find a way to like jog his memory, maybe, but
Do we know where Gemini That might be kind of stupid. I'll ask it anyway to Cass and Frog. Do we know where Gemini is? Or right now Gemini is just like a being far off somewhere that's in like a...
I don't think we know.
No? Okay. I'll ask the book that. Would there be any places where Gemini
the
might
book
be?
is people that came before. The book isn't great at current events.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Unless Cass or Frog has anything else, I'll just ask the book, are there any books pertained in this library that would be useful for us to read before we leave?
It says yes, and then you see like 5 or 6 different books all light up.
Okay. Cass and Frog, do you guys have anything else you think would be pertinent?
Yeah, I have one more thing. So I'll sort of like look up at you and like take a second and put my hands into my pockets, just sort of like thinking how to word it. And while I'm doing that, I'll be playing with the little black pearl I got 15, 20 episodes ago at this point, and ask, is there any type of magic that would be able to overwrite a contract between a god and someone that's tethered to them?
On that, it would write back, some sort of other god could do it, but also you could rephrase your question if you want, because you know that Gemini is not a god. She's just an archfey.
Sorry, that's what I meant. Is there any type
That's okay.
for her specifically? I was framing it around her, but you are correct. I used the wrong term. So
it seems
same question,
like
archfey.
God- yeah. It seems that if you can find a god to break it for you, that they like the archfey come and go. The gods, despite having been exiled from the realm, are eternal. So if you can find a way to essentially break the pact that prevents the gods from getting into this world and they came back, you could talk to one of them and see if they could do it.
One more time for the people in the back. Sorry.
Yep. That if you could somehow make it so that the gods could come back to the world, one of them, if choosing to be on your side, could break the pact.
So in theory,
You also
Titania.
no, she's an archfey. She's not a god.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
You all
Isn't-
you know that like the gods left the world because the church doesn't believe in them anymore. They only believe in the concept of unified peace. So there's no one devoted to a god strong enough. Like there's not enough of a devotion to allow any of the gods to take a foothold here. That doesn't mean they're gone. They just are gone from Aelith.
Realistically, their backs are turned at this point.
Mhm.
Okay.
Frog, did you have anything else you wanted to ask or you thought would be pertinent for us to try and ask?
No.
Cass, anything else?
I mean, not to like harp on you, but like this is your temple. Is there anything you want to know about like your stuff? Like it's great that you're like trying to like lead this for us, but like this is also a point for you. Like if you want to figure out anything else about yourself, your training, anything like that, we can leave also if you want to. Like we don't need to be here if you want some privacy.
I'll ask first, where is the Guardian now? Still in the same position?
Still right below you, yeah, looking up at you.
Okay. I will ask Cass and Frog to go look for the books that lit up and if they could read them or take any notes that seemed interesting, and then I will spend a little bit of extra time with this Fae book and ask some additional questions.
Okay. And Frog, are you okay touching the book?
Yeah, I guess. If Nori asks again, I would assume that she thinks that it's safe.
Could other people non-Twilight cleric touch books in this library?
Doesn't seem to have any reason they couldn't.
Okay, cool.
All right. I'll go with Frog. I'm not going to split up. I'll stay with you specifically, and we'll make our way to where Nori noted.
Cool. Yeah, and it's not just at Nori. Like you can all see like the 5 books that are like brightly glowing on their shelves. Yeah, Frog, are you interacting with them?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. You would see that, especially because Nora, you had detect magic, but Frog, you also like can kind of sense it a bit more. One of the books feels very, like in terms of the rest of the magic from the other 5, feels pretty weak, but it's still like a very strong sense of magic. That's vibrating on a shelf. There are 2 others that you feel calling to your more like trained essence, and then there's 2 books that have a level of power that kind of terrifies you.
Okay.
Like as you like just being near them, you can tell that they are huge sources of magical arcane knowledge and energy.
Okay. Frog will go for book 2.
Okay.
You mean the two that are trained essences?
No.
Right?
Wait, what'd you say?
I thought there was 1 week, 2 trained, like 2 strong, and then 2 terrifying, right?
Yes.
So you're going for the middle.
The middle one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. There's one that seems to be more enchantment based, and one that seems to be more evocation based.
Enchantments. Why not? Sounds fun.
Yeah. You find that there's a book of spells here that has a bunch of spells inside of it, and it would function as a spell book if you were able to take it.
Okay.
Also, if you have
There's-
magical paper, you could copy all the spells from it.
Okay. Are there any like spells of note, or it's just like straight up?
As you're looking through, it's got a lot of charming spells and everything. It's got antipathy and sympathy, charm person, dominate person, enthrall, hypnotic pattern, modified memory, and suggestion.
Modified memory. Oh no. Okay. Can I put that one down and pick up the other one?
Sure. This one has the same energy as the other one, but is specifically all evocation things. Inside, you'd find contingency, fireball, gust of wind, Lee Moon's tiny hut, magic missile, thunderwave, and a wall of force.
Okay. Do I have time to write some of these down?
Nothing seems to be of pressuring any of you at all at this point. You would know it takes an hour per spell.
Right. Okay.
If you wanted to do all of the spells of just these two, it would take you 14 hours.
Yeah, no. I was just gonna write down like just one.
Okay.
Okay. I will go ahead and start jotting one of those down to be determined.
Okay.
And then, I mean, since you're comfortable, the world hasn't imploded, my dread thoughts have not come to fruition. I'll start at the weak book and sort of see what's there.
Yeah, you see on the cover a depiction of a conversation between two people, and as you open it up, it doesn't have a lot of words. Instead, it has a lot of pictures about like coming to agreements and understandings and negotiations. And as you start looking at them, you kind of just feel them like imprinting themselves on you. But the book is very long, and you can tell that in order to get anything out of it, you'd have to spend a very long amount of time with it.
So I'd physically have to take it, realistically.
Yep.
Okay. I will put it back for the time being, and I'll make my way over to one of the more absurd amount of magic energy books.
Cool. There's one that feels a lot kinder and one that feels a lot less kind. Which one do you think you'd go for?
Kinder.
Yeah. What is your alignment?
That is a great question. I believe it's... Where are alignments actually in this? Give me 1 second. One more. Yes, neutral good.
Okay. So yeah, being good aligned, you're able to pick it up. You see that it looks like it's just the wrappings of like angel wings over themselves, and it has a heavy clasp. And no matter how hard you try and pull the clasp open, it will not open. You can feel that as you pick it up, the magic tries to seep itself into you, and if you wanted to take some time to attune to the book, you could. But that's up to you.
I mean, if Frog seems to be content looking at hers, I will take the time to try to attune to it.
Nice.
And this is natural attunement, right? So I would need like a slot, technically.
You would need a slot for it, yep.
Okay, give me 1 second. I think that's fine. Yeah, I got plenty.
And Nori, anything you're trying to do?
Yeah, while they're doing that, I will triple check that the Guardian is still where it's at. And then ask the book. When Twilight clerics were recognized by the church or by society, how common was it for an individual to become a Twilight cleric amongst the rest of the cleric domains?
You would see it double down with what you learned from your past research that they were always very rare.
Okay.
It wasn't one of the easiest concepts to accept that, like, doubt and death and life and uncertainty are okay in the world. So even back when people were, like, wildly different in terms of devotion, Twilight was always on the outs.
Was there ever a time period where being a Twilight cleric was just a tad more common than it had before, like a slight surgence? And if there was, like, what seemed to contribute to that?
In this world, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
When we were with Cass, and Cass was pretending to be a novice for the church, did Brog and I see what that weapon was back in Alara or wherever we were at from the war, or just Cass?
Only Cass.
Okay, then never mind.
And then Cass quickly forgot that. No, you forgot something else. You didn't forget to see that, yeah, but only
I
Cass.
forgot about the ring. I told you. I thought I did tell you because I thought you looked it up in the library the next day.
You told us, but we didn't actually see it.
Yeah, you never saw it, but you know what it is because you looked it up.
Yeah, that's right.
Because we also told Dion about it. That, like, hey, this, like, creepy wand thing is gone.
True.
Sorry, metagaming done.
Okay.
Very good.
In that context, I will see if this lovely book of history can give me any more information or what it can do in the wrong hands.
Yeah. It kind of cuts out in terms of information about it because you know that the clerics left at, like, the start of the war, and that was the thing that used to end the war. So there's, like, a 200-year gap there that's kind of missing. But it has, like, some information just from people that were still around, that it seems to be a staff of, like, great necromantic power. Like, it's staff that was used to end the war, and with it you could quickly wipe out hundreds of people at a time.
Oh, that's really nice, really great. Is there anything... Never mind, that's fork and dumb. What seemed to be the downfall of the cleric domain? Now that, like, it was rare before, but now it's even more rare. Is it because...
Well, in general, all domains don't exist anymore.
True.
But this one was primarily supported by elves who had no siding between the people of the war, and so they all went back to the Feywild and just kind of, like, left the material plane. There is, like, the rare exception of those who are still around, like Dakota, the townskeeper down in that one place that's run by Yarrow's Bellman. Like, she's an elf that's still around, but for the most part, elves were like, we don't really care about men fighting, we're leaving. And with no one really left to understand the domain, no one really carried it on.
Is there anything that Twilight clerics from the past would want a Twilight cleric of the present to know?
No, you get, like, a whole wall of text about, like, the doctrine and how it works and how you specifically are doing it wrong, and ways that would be better, like, if you had been doing things. Like, they seem to be watching what you've been doing, and they just have, like, a note for note, like, treatise of all the issues you've had and the things that they're doing. But yeah.
I will take out my notebook and make sure that I jot down some of these things and say, wow, wow. Cool. Thank you. And looking down at the Guardian, thank you. And just, like, rub my palm against my forehead and be like, wow, God, okay, great. And then I will ask one final question. Is it possible for books to leave this library without any negative ondoing to those who take them?
No.
Okay, cool. Thank you, and I'm gonna close the book.
Okay, cool. Some of you closing the book. Seph and Alto come back up. They're like, oh hey, you made it in. That's nice. Are we good? Did you solve the puzzle?
We did. Found some really great information, and especially all the things I've been doing wrong as a Twilight cleric. It's great. Love learning. Yay. I'm gonna go next to Frog and ask her, what you find in these books?
We just got a bunch of spells. Nothing too exciting, but if you want to look, here you go. And she'll like gesture to show her the book.
Perfect. Just so like we're also aware, these books need to stay here. We cannot take them with us. So anything you want, we need to spend time here copying, praying. But if any of you take these books, I will hunt you down and I will yell at you very sternly in a loving way. Love you. And I'll look at the enchantment book.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You looking at it, it seems the text is not comprehensible as you are not a wizard.
Frog, you handed me this book and it literally makes no sense. And I'll hand it back to her and then look at the other book she handed me.
Same thing. Both of them are the wizard books.
Frog! Okay, here! And I'm gonna go to Cass and see what he is doing.
Cass would be over by the good aligned book, still trying to attune to it, and an evil feeling book. There's also just a different book on the shelves that Cass had picked up and put back down. The one that seemed to be about understanding people.
I will look at that book.
Yeah, that one's full of pictures. You may like that one.
Thanks, Cass. Giving him a
and so as the three of you sit here attuning to your books, reading, learning new things, that's what we'll wrap up for today. And we'll see if you all are managing to finish this place out without making Guardian mad, because you're very close to pissing it off, but we'll find out next time. As always, thank you, audience, for playing. Thank you, audience, for listening. Thank you, players, for playing. We are Help Action Needed. You can find us all over the internet at that handle. You can also email us at helpactionneeded@gmail.com. And another thing that you all can do that I need to remember to tell people to do, because I don't tell anyone else, you can rate the show. If you like it, feel free to tell us you like it by hitting the little button that says make it good. We'd appreciate it, because it lets us know that you enjoy it. Yeah. As always, thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, audience, for listening, and goodbye.